On today's episode, watch as Sn0wy talks about the 2014 album Worlds and what makes it so special, all while the game gets into some legal issues. Oh, that's always fun. Finally, watch as make sure you stay tuned.
These are the stories of three roommates, Sn0wy, Twig and Ruby. They share a house with their weird landlord Wallace. Watch as these three losers try to make a living off their adventures through this mysterious door. Ooh, spooky.
Worlds. Where can I even start?
You can start with the fact that that song isn't even on the album.
Okay, listen, Ruby. I waited so long to do this video. Could you at least humor me today?
No.
By the way, how'd you even know that song wasn't on the album?
I don't know, Sn0wy. Maybe because it's located in a folder on Twig's hard drive called Porter Robinson Live Leaks Only.
Are you sure it's okay to have this downloaded?
Twig, it's fine. Now then, let's continue. If you paid any attention to my videos, or just me in general, you should be able to tell that I'm a massive Porter Robinson fan, from his creative vision to his different styles of music. Yet, it's still hard for me to really put into words how much he means to me as an artist. As much as I want to talk about his other work, today I just want to focus on the 2014 album Worlds. To boil it down in its most basic form, Worlds is an album about escapism. It's about visiting places in our minds that we could never go to in person. It's about those few moments we can just leave our day-to-day lives, whether it's through daydreaming or through a video game. Just the longing to escape this reality, to live in another one. This all sounds overly dramatic, so let's just take a step back. Worlds is an album that proudly wears its influences on its sleeve. I grew up in the 2000s, and that music will always have a special spot in my heart. I was a broke 9-year-old, and the only music I could really afford to listen to was my sister's. Things like the Jonas Brothers, Miley Cyrus, High School Musical, anything that was popular in pop music at the time. Sean Kingston. Worlds uses a lot of the chord progressions and sounds from this time. Porter himself even saying how obsessed he was about 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. Personally, I was more of a Jordan Sparks kind of guy. However, the most influential music to Porter at this time was electronic music. You guys remember Dance Dance Revolution? That's the first place where he, and a lot of us, heard electronic music. It inspired him to get into production soon after. He pulled all kinds of instruments and styles from its OST. Then in 2017 he said, music kind of sucks now. Let's just make straight DDR music. When it came to creating worlds, the dude pulled instruments from video games like The Legend of Zelda and the default MIDI instruments. Because the dude's a massive loser like us and just loves the nostalgia it brings. Those low quality sounds from the late 90s. It's no longer just the bleep loops from the early 90s. It's pushing the nostalgia forward. Also, Porter's just a giant weeaboo, so you know he had to throw in some of those anime influences in there, whether it's just Japanese influences in general. Rika, it's time to get your man. This is still my favorite clip to this day. To be honest, that's a lot of his appeal in his music. It's a modern take on 2000s pop and electronic in the eyes of somebody who grew up in that era. All of this adds up to the music of Worlds, which tends to fall into the future bass genre and like a bunch of subgenres. Just wanted to make a correction because in my last video I did on Porter I got that wrong. He didn't make future bass, oops. Worlds was a rebellion against the EDM scene at the time, being heavily melodic instead of more wah 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 kind of music. Remember, this was 2014. Dubstep was just starting to decline in popularity, but we still had songs like Razor Sharp blasting out of kids' MP3 players and YouTube intros. Worlds is made up of 12 memorable tracks. 11 memorable tracks, each of which is their own world. Divinity welcomes the listener in with chopped up vocals in what sounds to be the start of an adventure. No, not that adventure. I love you, Hugo. Sad Machine is about a human finding some sort of robot in a post-apocalyptic world. There, I got it. Flicker is a bright and colorful song with a sampled Vocaloid combined with a hip-hop beat. Fresh Stack Snow is about the one person who could make you the happiest and the longing to know them, even though the chances are incredibly slim. Sea of Voices drowns you in a beautiful ocean of synths and other instruments. And Goodbye to a World is a gorgeous piece based around the end of the world and being comforted by a robot while everything around you is falling apart. That's not even mentioning songs like Fellow Feeling and Natural Light. You can just lay down and get lost in these worlds being built in your head, and I think that's what the goal of this album was. But what if it was to be taken a step further and brought the worlds to you. This is where the live show for Worlds breathed new life into the album. Not only was every song accompanied with live edits, almost every song, we were given visuals that really brought each track to life in a way that we haven't seen before. Porter worked with the lovely people at Invisible Light Network and his VJ, Ghostad, to create these video game, anime, glitchy-like visuals. Songs like Hear the Bells have a breathtaking world with floating islands and a gorgeous atmosphere. Fellow Feeling is a lush pixelated forest with raw visuals to accompany a bass drop that is the most satisfying nails on a chalkboard if it were actually like pleasant to your ears. It's hard to explain. You hear it, you'll understand. And Natural Light is set around this dark poolside with mermaids as well as floating whales with its chill and mysterious sounds, which, fun fact, is actually the song used in the Mapleside 85 release video. Yeah, my point is, Worlds was brought to life in a way I'd never seen before this and really became a thing of its own. I remember seeing it for the first time, it just blew me away and really just absorbed me in it just from watching videos on YouTube. I can't even imagine what it's like to be there. Okay, well, I did go to the Shelter Live concert and oh, I cried. It was a show made by a massive geek with brilliant ideas for people like us. Geeks. Oh, come on! They just had to ruin the recording.
Snowy, I think they're coming this way.
Police! Put your hands where we can see them!
What did we do?
We got a report that somebody in this house has leaked Porter Robinson music on their PC.
I told you so.
Well, you see, officer, hey, is that X-Trail's Reddit leaking the new Dylan Francis song?
I love Dylan Francis.
Hey, they're getting away!
You can't outrun me. I'm fast as fuck.
Think we lost him?
I think we lost him in Polygon Dust.
Twig, there is no world for Polygon Dust.
Snowy, this is all your fault. None of this would have happened if you didn't download these leaked songs.
Oh, that's rich coming from the kleptomaniac of the group.
Please stop arguing. I think Snowy's learned a valuable lesson today about... What am I downloading?
I may have also backed up Madion's leaks.
Hey, I found them!
Snowy!
World has left many people to create things inspired from the album, and I think that's the best thing that a creator can do, inspire their fans to create. People weren't just creating fan art or remixes for Worlds though, they were inspired by Porter to create their own worlds with their own original soundtracks or their own art. This leads me to my main point of this video. So, dear Porter Robinson, your work continues to inspire me to this day. I remember the first time I really fell in love with Worlds and how much it inspired me. It showed me, and many others, the importance of imagination and creating these worlds in our minds we can escape to. The older we get, the less creative we become, and some people let go of that childlike wonder. Worlds have inspired me to take action on those ideas I had and to make something out of it. I don't want another Worlds album. I want to see you continuously shake up the EDM scene like you've been doing for so long with your new ideas and takes on genres. So to Porter Robinson, do me one favor. Never stop creating. Much love, Evan.
Congratulations on breaking out of your shell there, kid.
Felt good to talk about something I love again.
Since you're in a good mood today, let's talk about something lighter than last time.
Okay, what do you have in mind?
Seeing as that whole video was about worlds in your mind, tell me about these worlds you speak of.
An oddly specific and complex question. Well, we're currently on a planet made by me. You see, people from the third dimension create these worlds in their minds that become planets and what we call the Imagisphere. The Imagisphere is a dimension made up of nothing but thoughts and ideas from millions of human beings. In the Imagisphere, all the planets are connected through portals. These portals are mostly doors, but there's a rare few out there that are holes, but I don't really understand that part.
Does that mean I have my own world?
No, sadly. Creations in the Imagisphere can't make their own worlds since the Imagisphere as a whole is in the second dimension. If my thoughts are only second dimensional, then a creation in the Imagisphere would only have thoughts that are one dimensional. To put it in more understandable terms, human thoughts lack depth. They have length and width, but no depth. It's the equivalent of touching a drawing. The drawing is flat, but a human hand isn't. The drawing can't suddenly touch your hand because it lacks depth. Also, if it would do that, it's really creepy and I'd call an exorcist. Point is, humans imagine these planets with the knowledge they have of the third dimension. We can't comprehend the fourth dimension though, only our dimension and lower. So using this logic, how would something in the second dimension comprehend something like the third dimension if it's never known what the third dimension is?
Wow, you know an awful lot about dimensions, but your theory's a bit shaky in certain areas. I must say though, you're being quite open for somebody who's supposed to be all mysterious.
Sorry to cut it short, my roommates need me.
No need to apologize. I'll be here, waiting for you.
Thanks.
So he is from the third dimension. He better keep his end of the deal.